This is the first time the narrative is telling us that an assassin is stalking the Empress. Previously, Josephine considered the possibility of one being at Halam Sharal, which is the Orlesian fancy name for a masquerade ball. Considering Orlesians seem to kill each other every weekend playing the grand game, this is more of an observation than a deduction. And I'm sure that the Empress is totally familiar with the game as she's the Empress. She played it, she one-upped everyone, she's in charge. So she wouldn't really care enough for us to tell her some speculation about a would-be assassin. She probably already knows about a dozen or so. Worse still, if we went the mage route, we found in the future the first of our companions we meet in a jail cell tells us that Empress Selene was assassinated. That's a good thing as it generates tension, as we have no idea how to solve this problem that's about to happen. This is all assumed to be because of Corey, though. So while we have optional experience from the future on hearsay, from our distraught, soylent red, jailed, glowing companion, to believe there's a Tevinter or Corey's assassin somewhere, we have no evidence. Going the Templar route, we're literally just making stuff up. We have no clue. So the main questions I have for this little quest narrative box is, who, what, where, when, why, and how do you know this? And what's our evidence that there's an assassin that anyone should care about that we can present to the Empress aside from a bad Terminator joke? Dance with me if you want to live.
We have to reach the Empress before Corypheus. The only question is, how?
Well, we really need to know who Corey's assassin is. What are we going to do? Just show up and start bodyguarding her from someone we don't know, doing something we don't know how, when, where, or why?
We know how. I have our way in. The real question is, where is our enemy hiding?
That is certainly one of the very real questions. Man, this is such a quantum leap episode.
At the urging of Grand Duchess Florian, the Empress is holding a ball. Absolutely everyone will be there. During the festivities, Selene will be meeting for peace talks with usurper Duke Gaspard and Ambassador Briala.
The assassin must be hiding within one of these factions.
Okay, but how do you know that? The three factions being the Empire, her cousin a military dude who's part of the Empire, and an ambassador of the Elves. It's not exactly narrowing it down there, Spy Master.
Do we need to go to the peace talks? The Empress must have personal guards. We could just warn her she's in danger.
We've made the attempt, but...
It seems that our messages never reached her. Someone intercepted them.
It's better that we don't leave this to chance.
While that's a fair reason to put boots on the ground, it doesn't quite explain why publicly attending the ball is the best option or method for discovering who the assassin is. If our ravens aren't working, we could just send an emissary, or send a bunch of spies who can work as servants, or whatever. But again, without evidence, what would she care, how would she believe us, or even want us there? How did we get invited to this thing?
If Orlais falls to Corypheus, no land is safe.
What do we know about Duke Gaspard?
The man who would have been Emperor. He's Selene's cousin, and was first in line to inherit the throne when Emperor Florian died. Selene outmaneuvered him. She won over the Council of Heralds, who hold authority over title disputes. She became Empress, and he a general in the Imperial Army. He's well loved by the troops. He's also a Chevalier. Most of their number sided with him when he turned on the Empress.
Aren't the Chevaliers part of the army? Why would they follow the Duke?
Most Chevaliers are sworn to serve the crown, but that does not give them faith in the person wearing it. The Empress has tried to improve relations with Ferelden and Navarra. The Chevaliers see her as anti-military. They believe Gaspard could lead the Empire back to the glory of Draken's expansion years.
Okay, that's a kind of weak motive for an assassin, but now we have to ask if Gaspard was in charge and he's the obvious party to take over the Queen, and if the Queen died or rescinded, and the army respects Gaspard, and he gained power as the Emperor or whatever, and of course he's more military involved, how the hell did Corey then take over? And does it really matter who's in charge then if Corey is so powerful? This is further ruined by if we actually played the mage route, Corey just takes over. So all this politicking and playing the grand game is pointless, because we only care about Orlais not falling to Corey, not who's in charge of it. It could be whoever's in charge gets mind controlled or manipulated by Corey anyway. So things like time travel, mind control, are not very good things to base deductions on, but that's what they gave us.
Who is this Ambassador Briala?
An ambassador in name only, she has organized the elves of Halam Sharal into an underground army. The Empress invited her to the peace talks in a bid to gain the elves' alliance in the war. That would be scandal enough, without the rumor that Briella is a jilted lover of Celine's.
Okay, here we have three parties. The Queen, who doesn't want herself to die, although I'd think it rather clever of her to plot her own assassination so she can control it. There's a family usurper who commands the respect of the army, and an elven ambassador / lover of the victim who has an army of spies and saboteurs. If Gaspard and Briella really wanted her dead, and this is in Orlais, and everyone plays the game in Orlais, it probably would have happened by now. Or they've tried before, and Celine is just really good at keeping power. Again, if we went the mage route, we know she'll die, but if we didn't go that route, we'd be totally lost as to how or why we're even talking about this. All of this is completely immaterial to our plot, which is to save Orlais from Corypheus.
A personal grudge and a network of saboteurs at her command. Promising lead.
Wait, the elven leader is a jilted lover of the Empress.
I'm not really seeing the importance here. So Celine had sex with an elf. Okay, she's the Empress. You let them eat the cake. What's the big deal? Okay, and if she falls by herself, then Gaspard takes over and he's military-minded and probably best suited to stop invasions?
Tell me everything we know about the Empress.
Empress Celine is a renowned diplomat and reformer. She works tirelessly to secure peace for the Empire. Unfortunately, many Orlesians view peace as complacency. She has yet to name an heir, leaving the future of the Empire in doubt if anything happens to her. Especially when the next in line is her cousin Gaspard, who's made few friends on the Council of Heralds.
Celine is surrounded at all times by countless guards, courtiers, servants, and vassals. What better place for an assassin to hide than the Empress's own household?
Let's be reminded that this is Orlais, where there are bards who are assassins who kill people on weekends. This is normal. Everyone is potentially in everyone else's pocket. Now, one, we don't have any proof, and we're just talking about the factions and we're speculating. Two, even if the Empress dies, we need to know how Orlais falls. Who's in charge is, kind of irrelevant. Three, we don't really care about the grand game. We only care about restoring order. Or how does Corey even overthrow Orlais? I mean, it's possible he just has agents who play the game even better and aren't literal backstabbers and he puts one of his puppets in power. Or it's possible he uses mind control and all this is irrelevant. That might be an angle to look at. Can we, talk about how we identify Tevinter agents or demon agents or magical agents? Didn't we just stop one at Adamant Fortress? Mind control and fear seems to be his MO.
You've given me plenty to think about.
With Gaspard and Celine's armies entrenched, we cannot openly march troops to the palace.
My agents will ensure your soldiers get inside. But it must be a few at a time to avoid attention.
So as the evening goes on, we're going to have a military occupation of the Bloody Palace? How drunk is everyone going to be not to notice all these dudes in uniform? Or are they all going to be wearing those masks? What's the plan here exactly militarily? I thought this was going to be one of the most diplomatic style missions.
Understood. Just give the word. We'll begin.
The political situation in Halam Shiral hangs by a thread. The Empress fears our presence could sever it. The Grand Duke is only too happy to have us at the ball as his guests, so our invitation comes from him. Whether we act as his allies or upset the balance of power, he gains an opportunity, if not a clear advantage.
RPGs. Well, it's good to know we may have the option of upsetting the political power, but if it doesn't have anything to do with stopping Corey or protecting Orlais or the rest of the world, who cares? We really have no basis of understanding of one faction being more important at better at stopping Corey than the other. Remember, we're not here to restore order from foreign politics. We're here to restore order from those responsible to the destruction of the Conclave. That is, Corey. Well, there's our military presence already. Are we just going to waltz 6 of these guys in here every, 10 minutes? Is that part of the plan? Every Inquisition dignitary gets like a 6-man regiment? It's not bad, it's just kind of funny if we have all these escorts pop in from made-up dignitaries and They just line up the walls with them.
Inquisitor Trevelyan, it is an honor to meet you at last. The rumors coming out of the Western Approach say you battled an army of demons. Imagine what the Inquisition could accomplish with the full support of the rightful Emperor of Orlais.
Are you ready to restore some order?
Which one was the rightful one again? I keep getting them confused.
If we keep watch, he may appear, probably by the brandy. I am not a man who forgets his friends, Inquisitor.
Okay, I gotta know, how do you see through that mask? What are you hiding there, eyeball guy?
You help me, I'll help you.
How is it sitting on your face? What is wrong with your face, mask?
Prepared to shock the Assembly by appearing as the guest of a hateful usurper, my lord? They will be telling stories of this into the next age.
I can't imagine that crowd has seen anything better than us in their entire lives.
Capital UGH.
I knew we would get along famously, Inquisitor. As a friend, perhaps there is a matter you could undertake this evening. This elven woman, Briala, I suspect that she intends to disrupt the negotiations. My people have found these ambassadors all over the fortifications. Sabotage seems the least of their crimes.
Thanks, but nothing we don't already know.
That sounds like something I should look into.
Be as discreet as possible. I detest the game, but if we do not play it well, our enemies will make us look like villains. We're keeping the court waiting, Inquisitor. Shall we?
Finally, some actual Inquisitor work with a mystery we don't know anything about on a speculation with only optional believability via time travel. Well, it's not the worst of setups. Let's just see how this plays out.